Hello guys and welcome to Let's Build a Castle Part 2. In this episode we're going to build this epic long bridge and second keep that finish the entrance to our brand new castle. As you can see, very much using the exact same build styles from the previous episode, as well as getting as much reference as possible from the beloved castle we have left behind. So guys, let's begin. As we open here, we can see what we finished in the last episode was quite a monument. We got through quite a lot in such a short period of time. So I was incredibly enthusiastic to get right back into it. So as you can see, just doing all the simplistic stuff you expect, just laying down the groundwork for us to build upon. As you can see, using very similar styles we saw long ago in my old castle. And because I feel this is much relevant as well, because we've gained a lot of subscribers recently since the inception of the old castle. So I feel a lot of these new subscribers will be able to enjoy this stuff firsthand, like all the previous people did before them. So as you can see, just messing around with a few ideas, just trying to work out scales and sizes and just seeing how things would work. And I feel this design works best when it's replicated on its own. Then it didn't look too professional or too efficient, but now copied along here I feel it looks very good indeed. So now the bridge though, it's just one horizontal line. It needs some sort of support, which I feel is very important. So we want to build like almost a curved edge underneath it, just to give it that bit of support, that bit of a sense that this is a real bridge that could really work in a medieval situation. As well, we go, I keep saying a realistic medieval representation, although it's not, it's somewhat flamboyant to what we expect from those traditional values, because there is no way back in the medieval ages they could build something to this design without some sort of crazy construction work, because a bridge being suspended like this I feel is very 21st century, unlike what they had back in those days. So as you can see, now putting beams across, again adding in that supportive idea, and although this is an elaborate idea that obviously wouldn't work really in a real situation, it just, I still want that bits of it grounded in reality, just to overall make it feel believable, and I feel it works incredibly nicely. And as you can see, the bridge is actually finished. I finished off with a lot of torches just to keep it illuminated at night. And as you can see now, I just copied and pasted, I didn't copy and paste them to a slightly different scale, but copied and pasted the design of them. And on the top here, I feel it needed to be changed, because this idea here, obviously I haven't put the roofs on, because I want these to be, I don't want them to be too overwhelming. With the roofs, they would actually go higher than the roofs of the building behind it, which I don't want them to do. I want the building behind to have the tallest roof at the front of the castle. So I had to work out a way. So I got rid of those two roofs of the actual towers and started working on a brand new design for the middle section. One that would include a window, so some sort of watcher could look down over the bridge directly. Although, as we're building it here and I'm fairing upstairs, and I am quite comfortably happy with it, overall, in a few moments I look back upon it and I don't feel it's working to its great effect. But before then, we have to make this. Again, even though it has that elaborate style, I still want it to have that structural integrity that we all expect. So just working around with different materials to give much more of a sloped effect, just to overall build up that believability that you really want, despite it being in a fantasy setting, similar to what you see in something like Lord of the Rings. Despite Minas Tirith being so massive and so completely like fantasized, like that would never have any chance of being built in real life. Minas Tirith is a fantasy city, although they still ground it within reality so that we believe it, that we believe that could possibly have been built one day, even though it is probably technically impossible, which is something I strive towards in building my own builds in this series. So now what I'm going to do is just going to build up these two tops of the towers, and as I said earlier, I didn't want roofs on the top of these, just so they didn't go higher than that template you can see behind it. So I worked on this, but removed that middle section, just because the way there's no roofs either side of it, it just seemed a bit out of place really, and just like like I could have come up with a better idea, I suppose. So I just kept it like the rest of it, just to keep it like a seamless, like, even though it's two towers of the bridge, technically I also wanted it to look like it's part of just the single building, like there's no, that it just worked as it is. So I got rid of the roofs completely, and I felt this worked much better, and I feel it will work especially like a lot better at a later date when we finish the building behind it, which will probably come in the next episode actually, or maybe but I'd say it's 1 or 2 episodes away at most. So, but to further just personify my point here, I kind of wanted to extend that roof now, do a little bit of editing to this in this episode. So as you see, made it a much more pointy roof, and from that view we just had then, you can see this idea I feel works much better without that pointy roof we had over the bridge. Now it was important just to make our way up. And again, add that, like the way we've had that structural integrity, and you want to have this a functional castle. So I added in a stairwell. I'll just skip through the middle of that because I had a bit of trouble midway up. So it just spirals all the way up the outside. Then we're working on the top here of how it enters onto the actual top floor. Although, again, here I had a few problems. When we get to the top floor, I feel it takes up way too much room on the top of here, especially now when I could coat it in a fence. And I feel it's just not efficient enough. So I took the time and I redeveloped the staircase so that, as you can see there, it fit much more smoothly and much more efficiently into the space I had. So this is a much better design, as you can see. So that tower, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. I might just put another stairwell in it, but that is now actually the end of this episode. Replace the glass there with trapdoors, just again to add that sense of realism that you won't really have a glass roof in this kind of era. So, and I also added a big column pillar into the middle just to add that extra bit of detail to the inside of that tower. So in the next set of episodes we get to build all this next stuff. We have a nice mess hall here, we have a range of towers, some king's quarters, just as a knock here. I feel that's where the throne will sit looking over the mess hall. We then gonna have a huge spiral staircase giving access to the rest of the castle, and that is all to come in the next set of episodes. So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so you make sure you get them. I hope you guys like these episodes. I've tried to keep them like short and sweet now. Instead of doing a lot of building in one episode, do a small amount of building in a shorter episode, just to bring out more episodes and just on a smaller time scale. So guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.